Empower'21. The woman we are with today is a person with sheer willpower, selflessness, and talent. She is a person who started from scratch and rose to be one of the most successful and respected women in Sri Lanka. A person who has helped thousands of the most disregarded creatures in Sri Lanka, street dogs, find a home. My guest for today is Miss Otara Gunawardene. She is an entrepreneur, philanthropist, and an advocate for animal welfare. She is the founder of Odell PLC, Embark, and the recently launched Who We Are online platform to promote Sri Lankan entrepreneurs and small businesses who sell local, eco-friendly, ethically sourced, cruelty-free, and sustainable products. Ms. Otara Gunawardene's work on animal welfare has been recognized nationally and internationally. She has played a major role in animal welfare, and overall, she has made a difference in thousands of lives. You reached a high status in society. You were honored as one of the prominent women in Sri Lanka by the Women's Parliamentarians Caucus. What do you think makes Otara Gunawardene the Otara Gunawardene she is today?
Well, it's been a long journey of a lot of things that have happened along the way, both with business and personally. But right along, I think I've always stood for who I truly am, really. Living according to my passions, doing what I love to do, and also, always trying to make a positive difference in our communities for both people and animals. That is really my true passion, is to be able to help communities live a better life, both people and animals and the environment, and that's really what I've been working at for many years. And most of all, I just do what I love, and I just try to be my authentic self without trying to be somebody else or trying to be someone that society tells me I should be. And I think it's and I've always believed that, and it's sometimes it doesn't seem conventional to most, especially when I start things like to do with Embark and many other things, speaking about elephants and all that. Sometimes it doesn't seem the usual thing that people are used to, but then eventually, hopefully people realize what I'm trying to communicate, and there is positive change. So I think it's really important for everyone to be, authentic and to be ourselves, because especially in the world today, more so now than before because of social media as well, the influence, for us to try to be who we are not is very, very great. So I think it's important to always live according to certain core values and to always be ourselves.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's start from the beginning. When you were young, you were very talented at sports. Were you able to balance out sports, academics, and extracurricular activities?
Well, for me, I could balance it, but I wasn't very fond of studying. So I excelled in sports and in ballet and swimming as well. And I was very bad in my studies. Of course, not to say that you can't do both well also. That was just me. But I loved the competition. I loved participating in the events and also pushing myself to win. And I honestly think that helped me as well in my life, my future life that was to come. So it was really a very good education, and it is really important. Studies is really not everything, as much as it may be important, but it's not everything, and there has to be a good balance of all the other activities you do, including time you spend outdoors with nature, with animals and all that. It really makes you more, gives you a more holistic and a more whole approach to life. And that's why it was something I used to love to do, and I used to love to go to school because of sports, and I also ended up running for Sri Lanka and joined another athletics club, and so I did quite a bit of it till I was about 17.
Do you have any advice for current athletes who find it hard to balance academics and sports?
Well, I think you really need to follow your passion, and sometimes it's not possible for us to be like to excel in everything, and for me it's okay, like not to have to to excel in all areas, and as long as like inside you're happy and you're doing the right thing and doing your best in your sports, and if that is your thing, then of course you need to do your education along the way, but it's obvious, sometimes it's difficult because there's a lot of effort needed to really excel in a sport that you're doing. It does take a lot of effort, and for me that is also part of that for me is also part of education, is to be able to train yourself, to teach yourself, to discipline yourself, in that area as well, because that to me also helps you really to help you in your adult life as well tremendously.
You're a lover for nature and your interest in animals. Did that start when you were a kid?
Yes, from whenever I could remember being born. From that time, and the first memories I have is of loving animals. So whenever that was, but I always loved animals, and I always rescued them. I always wanted to help them, and I always wanted to protect nature, and I always thought it was so important for us to live in a world and to live our lives in harmony with animals and nature, and to love animals as well. And even if you don't love them, you don't hurt them, you respect them, and you understand that that our world is a world of coexistence with animals and with the environment and with people, and it's something that is carried with me throughout my life. I've carried with me throughout my life, and somehow I've gone back to doing what I truly wanted to do when I was a child.
So growing up, you had any pets?
I had many pets. I had dogs, and I had ducks, and I had chickens and rabbits, and lots of pets, but they were all sort of free. I never kept them caged. I can't bear when I see people having pets and keeping them in cages. It's terrible. Actually, you should never have a pet if you have to keep them in a cage. So I had a garden. I lived in Colombo. I had a garden, and I used to have all these pets. And then I also used to have squirrels, but the squirrels were the ones that used to fall out of the nest, and then I would rescue them, and I would treat them, and then I would release them back into the wild. And sometimes they would come back and visit me. I used to do that to birds as well. Sometimes, like minor birds and things used to fall in our garden, and I used to then look after them and then release them.
So was it that love and interest in the environment that eventually led you to found Embark?
Yes, and also to start Embark, yes, and also to start Odell. I actually started Odell to raise funds to help animals, both dogs and elephants and other animals. That's the reason why I started my business, was so I could earn more money to help environmental protection, and also to help protect animals. And that's why I started making T-shirts and selling them, and buying taking stock lots from factories and selling them, was because so that I could increase my income, and then help do those projects by to support those causes. So that was the reason for that. And then of course many years later I changed it to focusing on one area. I was doing many different programs on animal protection and environment protection, and I decided that I wanted to focus on one area where I could make a big difference, rather than doing many small things and not making great impact. So that's why I chose the street dogs, and that's why I started Embark.
So are there any animal organizations and charities such as Embark in Sri Lanka that support you in your work?
Not one. Support me, and we support each other in sort of various advocacy and various sometimes we have to go and do sort of programs where of rescues, and sometimes protests, and sometimes meeting government officials and lobbying and advocating. So in those we get together, but otherwise the organizations sort of do their own work, as do I. And there are some other organizations as well that do help animals. But we are. I mean, when there is a need for it, we do unite for any particular cause.
Thank you. What do you consider as your biggest setback in life?
My biggest setback. I don't see much of I don't see things as a setback really. I see things as learnings or teachings and sort of things that have been brought into my life to help me to learn and to grow and to use that as an experience to be better at what I do or to change the way I do things for the better. I don't know. There are certain decisions I'm sure I took, business-wise, which probably were not the best, or maybe I don't know. I can't remember really, but I don't have memories of setbacks. I have memories of changes that have taken place for the better.
As a wise man once said, every setback is an opportunity for a comeback.
Exactly. Perfectly said.
Do you follow a certain morning routine or a schedule to maximize your productivity?
Yes, and it's changed. It changed over the years as well. At one time, I used to always do my, I work out and I stay fit. So I used to do my workouts always in the morning, at one time in my life, and then go to work. But now that's reversed. But I do other things like meditation and prayer, and that sort of routine in the morning, which helps me it helps me through the day for more clarity and for more for more balance. And so those are what I do each day. And then of course I have my dogs at home and I have my family at home, and so I have a lot of things like that too that I can to look after. But that's kind of the routine.
When was it that you knew what you wanted to be in life? When you knew that you wanted to be an entrepreneur and an advocate for animal rights?
I didn't know I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew that I wanted to make a difference in in people's lives and in the lives of animals, and to make a difference in this world for the better. And that was really all I wanted to do. From the time I was a child. So it has happened in different ways, from a entrepreneurial to business journey, giving me the platform and the ability to then be an advocate and to then be to use my voice and my platform to speak on behalf of animals, and to use to use my resources to help protect animals and the environment. So it's kind of flowed quite quite an amazing in an amazing way to give me what I really wanted as a dream and as a goal when I was a child as well.
So nowadays, especially when it comes to working mothers, they struggle to balance their personal lives and their work. Do you have any advice that you could share with them?
It is quite a struggle and a challenge, that part. Being a mother is of course just joyous and an amazing experience. But at the same time, when you are working full time, it is quite a balancing act that you have to do. But of course, it also, you're helped a lot depending on the support system you have. I mean, for me, my family and my parents were very, very supportive, and it really helped me to be able to focus on my business, as well as knowing that my kids were my two sons were being well looked after, and they were brought up and being brought up well, and of course it gave me more time to be with the business as well as be with them. So there was a good balance that I could have, thanks to my parents. But it's there are different things people can do. I mean, you can work, especially now. I mean, you have the opportunity to work from home in many options. Like in many places of many work options, you can work from home. Many people are doing their own businesses, so they can work from home. So there are many options now that help you to follow your dream and your passion in business or in work, and as well as have a happy family.
Do you think that compared to the 90s and the 2010s, now there are more work opportunities in Sri Lanka for working models?
I think so. I mean, I think there are, and I see. I mean, I can see, like, in the last 25 years, from 25 years to now, from when I started to now, how many more women actually have started businesses, are in businesses, are in leading positions, in prominent leading positions in businesses. So quite a lot has changed, over the years with that, and it's great to see. Of course, we have a long way to go still in Sri Lanka, and but there are many more examples. There are many more people who are setting the trend of bringing this change. And I think it's a good change and a much needed one, because I believe a country can be, I think Sri Lanka can be so much more, so much more economically bigger and better as well if women contribute and are able to help with growing the economy of the country.
Thank you. Could you explain to our viewers about the Who We Are online platform that you launched not too long ago?
Yeah, so Sohobialks is an online retail platform that I started to support the small businesses of Sri Lanka for products that are made by them in Sri Lanka. So the platform has only products that are made in Sri Lanka by small businesses, so that I can contribute in whatever way I can to increasing their sales, increasing their visibility, and to making Sri Lankan product more desirable, more acceptable, and to helping contribute to communities through increasing of sales for these families and individuals who are running these small businesses. So I think it's much needed in Sri Lanka because over the last few years we have been moving away from our own products that are made in Sri Lanka into much more items that are imported, which I think needs to reverse as well, and Sri Lankan product also needs to stand strong with products that are imported, and I think it's a good time for that to happen. And I think there are a lot of families and individuals who are in need of support of their businesses and trying to get more sales, and if I can contribute even in a small way to that, that's what I hope to do.
So ma'am, if you could go back in time, what's the one thing you'll change?
I wouldn't change anything really. Yeah, I'm very thankful and grateful for everything that's happened in my life, and for good or bad. And like you said earlier, even the challenges and what you think of bad at that time eventually makes you stronger and better, and you realize why it's happened. So I wouldn't change anything. I mean, I would. And I have the years ahead too. If there's anything that I feel I haven't done, I have the years ahead to try and achieve that. But yeah, I'm very grateful for everything, and I just accept my life for what it has been, and I look forward to what it's going to be.
Do you have any words of inspiration you wish to convey to the hardworking women of Sri Lanka who are watching this interview right now?
Well, I mean, I think there's so much that that we contribute to in Sri Lanka, and there's so much we can do to help Sri Lanka grow, to make it more sustainable, environmentally friendly, animal friendly, and to really contribute to making a more compassionate nation towards both people and animals, and of course contributing to the economy as well. As women, there's a lot that we can do and contribute to help make Sri Lanka better and stronger, and also you should always follow your passion, and if you have a dream, it's possible to most dreams are possible to achieve, almost all, as long as they are as long as they have a very authentic and authentic sort of goal towards them, and most of all just do what you really love to do and know that you can do it.
Ms. Otara Gunawardene, thank you for joining us today or for the first episode of Empower'21. On behalf of the committee of Empower'21, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thanks so much.